Come on back. Give us another question. That was a good one.
Okay. Don't feel compelled to answer this, but if I don't ask it, everyone in chat is going to have my head. Everybody wants to know about fake Pietro. Why bring that actor back? That is the overwhelming question happening.
That's fair. Some stranger texted me about it earlier today as well. How do people get your cell phone number? I don't know. But they actually launched into a tirade.
What did they write, the stranger? Just out of the blue?
Yeah, just out of the blue. No idea who the person is. Sent me this tirade like, didn't you guys learn from Iron Man 3 with the fake Mandarin? And my first takeaway was that was my favorite part of Iron Man 3.
Yes.
When Ben Kingsley came out of the bathroom, was like, don't go in there. I was like, this is amazing. Trevor, the fake Mandarin, was fantastic. Playing with expectations, turning things around is always enjoyable. And what I would say to the Marvel fan who's a little disappointed that the X-Men didn't show up or the multiverse didn't show up clearly right there, is that they're coming. You know they're coming, right? You've got a movie called Multiverse of Madness. You've got mutants announced at Comic-Con a year and a half ago. Like, they're coming. And guess who else is coming? The Mandarin is coming. He is also announced as the villain in Shang-Chi. So your patience will be rewarded. But what we were doing, I mean, Aaron Taylor Johnson could have been there at the door, and then I guess he would have been the puppet of Agatha. But we already have a loved one brought back really from the dead in Vision, right? So what's more interesting, like what grief does to us that allows us to accept a face that is unfamiliar to us, and to roll with that, as unnerving as it may seem. Because Wanda, again, this is bargaining, right? Here we are in the stages of grief. Like, she's willing to bargain with herself in a way to be like, yeah, I want my brother back too, so I'm willing to accept that this is not the face that I remember. And then, at the same time, it's a sitcom. It's a meta comment. He's been recast. He's, Dick Sargent instead of Dick York.
He's the second Darren.
Right. He's the second Darren.
Or the second Becky, for that matter.
Right. But in the end,
yes.
Yes, and there is a whole great tradition of that in sitcoms. And to top it all off, this is Evan Peters. He's a great actor. He's a brilliant actor. He's so funny. And like everybody else in this show, capable of doing anything from comedy to drama and everything in between, and all of it at the same time. And to have him show up as Uncle Jesse and disrupt this family, I mean, these are really fun. And at the end, people would have been asking us, who's Ralph, if we hadn't answered that one. So we answered that one. He's Ralph. He's the poor guy at the end of the block that Agatha moved in, and put some puka beads around his neck, So that's what happened.
I did not bump into that in the least. Like, when he turned out to be nothing but a guy that she fucking put a spell on.
Yeah.
That didn't. I enjoyed the fucking mic drop of the end of that episode of seeing him at the door. I enjoyed like the next episode of is he, isn't he, or whatnot. I loved when she called him Pietro a couple episodes later and stuff. I didn't bump into that at all. I'm telling you, I enjoy theories as much as the next person and whatnot. For one, I was saying earlier in the run of WandaVision, I was like, I don't know why people are saying Mephisto. And then at a certain point, the internet had me convinced that it was going to be Mephisto. So I was like, I guess it could totally be Mephisto. But there wasn't one like internet theory or one like, ooh, it could be Reed Richards, or it could be Dr. Doom. It could be, Victor Von Doom. None of that. Like, when credits rolled, I was never like, oh, they could have, and they didn't. I was so delighted with the miracle that the show fucking was, man. Like, so expectation can get the better of some people. But me, I had high expectations based on the trailers I was talking about on this show. From the moment we started seeing commercials, I was like, I think I'm going to love this because I think it's going to be fucking sad. Like, I think there's a real sadness at work here. And it was completely satisfying for me. I didn't feel like, oh, if only they'd done this. I do have a question though about, like, it looked like a scheduling thing where, Darcy hits Hayward's car, and then later on they're like, Darcy didn't stick around. They're like, she didn't like that kind of thing. Really felt like Darcy's on another movie now. We just got to throw in a line. Why is she not here? That felt like production to me and stuff like that. But it was,
yeah,
I absolutely fucking loved it, obviously. I'll be talking about it forever, man. I'm so glad they came on and talked about it and got to answer some questions. I think we're going to get to one more question. Is that correct, JC?
Let's do it.
Yeah, we can do one more. This one again may stretch our luck here, but what is one fan theory about your work that wasn't true but you totally loved?
Ooh, that is actually a good question. Was there any fan theory that you were like, fuck, why didn't we do that?
Was there any that I wish we had done? Not really. I mean, I loved the, you know, everything down to like the cicada on the curtain was Mephisto. Everyone was Mephisto. The mailman was Mephisto.
I thought the rabbit. I was like, the rabbit, Mr. Scratchy's got.
Well, let me just say something about Senor Scratchy. We did have something more planned for Senor Scratchy, which we ultimately couldn't do just because the finale, we had so many different, as I said, so many different chess pieces on the. We did have a whole sequence where Darcy, Monica, Ralph meet up with the kids, and they're in Agatha's house, and they think that maybe they should steal the Darkhold from the basement because the kids had seen it when they were down there being held hostage by Agatha. And they go down there to get the book, and they're reaching for the book, and the rabbit hops up in front of the book. And they're like, oh, it's Senor Scratchy. He's the best. And they like reach over to pet him, and he like hisses. And then this whole American Werewolf in London transformation happens, and the rabbit turns into this big demon, right? And so her like familiar, you know, and then Goonies set piece ensues with all sorts of fun as they try to escape from the rabbit, you know. But we shot it, but didn't finish all the VFX and stuff for it. And it was a great sequence. It was super fun. Everyone was great in it. But we ended up, you know, moving it aside because it was a huge sort of detour in the middle of everything else that we had going. So yeah, so Senor Scratchy did have a little bit more left on the cutting room floor.
I look forward to the 12-hour Matt Shackman cut.
Yes,
of WandaVision.
Get that.
Matt Shackman.